Well, hey there. Welcome to day 5, preliminary day 5, leading up to our next Get Up and Go challenge. August 1st to 31st, we will be doing the next Get Up and Go challenge, free of course, right here on the Get Up and Go challenge page. Well, we've talked about some tough topics so far, and today is probably no different. I'm not sure it's as challenging as the take 100% responsibility for everything and anything that happens in your life, but it's kind of right up the same alley. And it is you decide, meaning you decide what everything means, and not what everything means to everyone else in the world, but what everything means to you and for you. Broad statement, really powerful statement, and if you think about it, and what does everything include? Everything includes everything that we experience. Now, this is an interesting one, because when I think of it, I think of words. The first example I think of when I think, hey, you decide what everything means, you decide what words mean. What is one of the toughest things that we do as human beings? Try to communicate with one another, right? In the things that we say. How often have you been in a conversation where you're saying one thing and the other person, maybe someone you love and care about, like your significant other, you're saying one thing, he or she is saying another, and you're saying it differently, but you find out after arguing about something for 20 or 25 minutes that you're actually saying the exact same thing. You're in agreement, but since you're saying it differently and you're using words that have different meanings to each of you, you think that you're saying something different, but you're actually arguing for the same thing. I can't tell you how many arguments and discussions, lively debates my ex-husband and I had over topics where we were like at each other's throats, but we actually at some point we'd stop and we'd be like, oh my God, we are actually agreeing on this topic. We're saying the exact same thing, we're just saying it in different ways. Maybe if we figured that out sooner in our marriage, we wouldn't be divorced. I doubt it, we'd still be divorced. So sometimes the words that we use mean one thing to you and one thing to someone else. Guess what? It doesn't matter what it means to someone else. It matters what it means to you, because the words that we use have power. They have a lot of power. I've been doing an idiom a day on my Supersize Your Business page and on my personal page on Facebook. Geez, for over 500 days now. I've lost count. I've lost track of how many I've done, but I've done over 500 for sure. And what I do is I look at an idiom. I take an idiom. I research what does it mean, where did it come from, and how might I or you apply it to your life right now. And then with respect to Supersize Your Business, how could you apply it to your business right now? No matter what type of business you're running. And today's was hard. Today's was cloak and dagger. I'm like, what does cloak and dagger have to do with business? But it allows me to open my mind, look at things from a different perspective, think about them in a different way, and say, well, how might this be used or applied to help me grow my business and help other people grow their businesses as well? And that just reinforces to me the power of words, whether we're using them or whether other people are using them, and what it means to them versus what it means to us, and how powerful that is. The words that we choose have the ability, and the words that we use both in conversation and in the dialogue in our head, determine the direction and the trajectory of our life. That's a powerful statement as well, but it's so true. Test it on yourself. If you wake up every day, and I got to experience this with my son-in-law when he was going through a really bad physical challenge and he needed to have neck surgery. He got hurt at work and hurt his neck, and it caused a couple of years of really difficult challenges with him. And every day his mood and his attitude were really, really in the toilet. And I think he knows, and maybe he doesn't remember, but one of the things I taught him was a thing that I use on myself every day. And not every day, but a lot of days, or if I notice that I'm feeling a little off. And I taught him this, and I actually used to get on Instagram every Monday morning and I would yell this out. I would yell, I feel awesome! And I would spin around, usually outside, and I would just do a little quick video of that, because it's a great way to start your week. And I found that if I say I feel awesome, pretty soon I feel awesome. And I taught him that. We have this standing joke about I feel awesome, and even my daughter does it to me once in a while now. I was talking to her about something. She's like, I feel awesome, and she's pregnant right now, so she doesn't always feel awesome, but it does help. But the words that we use, the more range of vocabulary we have, and they've done studies on this, they being the mysterious I don't know who, because I'm not looking at statistics, but they've done studies and found that people with higher and more diverse vocabularies tend to be higher earning individuals. They rise up in the ranks of different organizations, different types of organizations, because they have more of a range of feelings and emotions to choose from, because our words and our thoughts create feelings in us. Now, I drew this really fancy graphic. It says thoughts lead to feelings, feelings or vibrations, which equal energy, lead to actions, and actions lead to results. And this is a very scientific symbol that means the sum of. The sum of your experiences equal your life. The sum of my experiences equal my life. So if we have more choices, don't the people that have more opportunities have more success in their life generally? Don't the people that have more choices have more things to choose from, have bigger opportunities to create differences in the world? So the feelings that the thoughts that we have, that the words that we use trigger or impact in us, have the ability to positively impact our life or negatively impact our life, right? If I'm saying that everything is awful and I'm judging and thinking about all the problems in the world, I'm going to feel worse about my situation and my life than if I'm thinking about all of the gifts and all the wonderful things and all the beauty and all the amazing things and all the blessings that are in the world. If I'm grateful for the things in my life, I'm going to create more of them. How we feel is critical, because how we feel determines, and our thoughts and feelings. To me, thoughts and feelings are so quickly interchanged, and I think there's some debate whether our feelings cause our thoughts or whether our thoughts cause our feelings. I don't know which one comes first. It's like the chicken or the egg. Does it really matter? We know that both are very interrelated and connected. Our emotions and our mental well-being are super duper tied together. Doesn't matter which comes first. It matters that they're almost instantaneously in sync with one another. So if I'm thinking negative thoughts, I'm feeling negative things. I'm feeling a range of negative emotions, which are creating negative energy in my life, which are then causing me to attract negative things into my life. Have you ever woken up, or have you ever been driving to work and there's a ton of traffic and something bad happens and then another thing and another thing, and pretty soon your day is spiraling downward? Of course, almost all of us have experienced that in our life. But then have you ever had another day where no matter what, you weren't going to let anything get you down? You wake up, even if you woke up late, you decide, I woke up late, but it'll be fine. It's not that big a deal. And then you look for the good things that happen in that day, and you don't let your whole day get knocked over and destroyed because of one or two little bad things that happen. Guess what? Each and every one of our days, not to mention our lives, no matter what our situation, are filled with positive and negative things that happen every day. But really, are there positive and negative things that happen every day? Or are there just things that happen every day, and then we decide whether they're positive or negative? Guess what? We decide whether they're positive or negative. Everything that happens to us and around us and through us is actually neutral. And it's up to us to decide if it's a positive thing or a negative thing. How do we know? Because the same exact experience or a very similar experience will happen to someone, and one person will respond positively and one person will respond negatively. Let's look at one of the hardest things that we have to deal with in our lives. That's the death of a loved one. Some people respond to that positively, and they know that their loved one has gone to a better place, and they remember all of the good times and the wonderful experiences they've had with that person, and they think and they realize that the person's spirit is still with them even though their physical body is gone. And then there's other people that have a negative reaction to somebody passing away and dying, and all they can think about are the things that they've lost because that person is no longer in their life, and they focus on those things. It takes them a lot longer to grieve and move on with their life when they're focusing on the negative and the things that have gone wrong because that person is no longer with them. I don't know if that's a great example, but I think we can all think of our own examples of that. But the truth is, you and I, each one of us, decide what every event, what every feeling, whatever emotion, whatever everything that we experience means to us. If it makes us feel good, it moves us toward what we want. If it makes us feel bad, it's moving us away from what we want. So decide that you're going to find ways to feel good. In every opportunity, in every situation, you are going to look for the lesson and the silver lining. You're going to look for the thing that you can be grateful for in that experience. Even during COVID-19, or even during bad events and bad experiences, there are good things and bad things that are happening in the situation, right? I am one of those people that is focusing on what are all the things I'm grateful for? What are the things that are working? What are the things I can do during COVID or any other challenge, versus focusing on the problems, what's wrong, what's changed, what's different. If you focus on the things that are wrong, missing, changed, or different, you will be frustrated and angry and upset, maybe even pissed off at things that you have no control over. But if you focus on the things that are working, the things you can do, those are the things you can control. Those are the things you can do and take action toward. You'll have a much better experience in any situation. So that's it. That's my little you decide what everything means topic. I would love to know what you think of this. Do you believe that you have the ability to decide what everything means? It's a bold statement, and it's a way of looking at things that most of us have never even considered. You know, if you had asked me even 10 years ago, do I believe that I decide what everything means? Do I get to decide how everything in my life impacts me? I would have said, maybe I 50% believe that. Maybe I believed that I had a percentage that I decided and that I had control over. That's because I was giving a lot of my personal power away. That's because I was letting the world outside of me bat me around like a tennis ball, and I wasn't taking control and 100% responsibility for my life. So even 10 years ago, I admit it, that I didn't necessarily believe that I decide what everything means. But as I've learned and grown and studied and looked into things and read a lot over the last decade for sure, I have come to know with 100% certainty that I personally decide what everything means to me. Everything in my life means to me. I get to decide what a warm cup of coffee means. I get to decide what a magnifying glass means to me. And guess what? A magnifying glass means something very different to me than it probably does to you. A magnifying glass in every room, even a dirty one, it makes it so that I can function right now. But to most people, it's just a magnifying glass. Maybe you used it to burn things on the sidewalk when you were a kid. I don't know. We all have different experiences with everything. But I get to decide what it means to me. You get to decide what it means to you. That's it. That's our discussion for today as we get ready for the next Get Up and Go challenge starting on August 1st, Saturday. I know it's a Saturday. I know it's 30 days. It's going to be 31 days. It's going to be every day. Every day I'm going to pop in at 11 a.m. Central Time and chat. I'm thinking and I'm formulating as I'm doing these preliminary days, it's going to be 10 minutes or less. I want to make sure that this August challenge really speeds us up and gets us moving into the fall with as much energy as we possibly can, as much forward momentum as we can possibly have. And we'll talk about briefly at least all the 7 major areas of our lives and how we can create the same positive momentum in each and every one of those areas, and how we can ensure that we're always making progress in them, whether we're consciously thinking about it or not, so that we can guarantee that you have better results and are moving forward toward your goals and objectives, toward the things that you want, that are important to you, better and faster at the end of the 31 days than you are when you go into it. Again, that's a bold statement as well. That's a big promise, but I guarantee it will work for you if you just pop in every day and do the action item every single day. It will install in your subconscious a framework and a process that you will automatically use whenever you're faced with a challenge or a choice or a situation or a decision or something that you might have had to commiserate over before. That's it. Go out, have an absolutely amazing day. Comments, questions, concerns, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Take care.